Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Knicks podcast. I'm your host, Apollo Reed. I am here once again by myself, but that is okay because the Knicks won tonight. You know what I mean? They beat the Hornets in the game that coming into the game we probably didn't expect them to win because of the way that they've been playing. But we're not surprised that they. Well, I'm surprised that they didn't blow a lead in this one because they were definitely up by 20 points, and it was just looking crazy. It was looking crazy. But yes, we beat the Hornets 121 and 106. Hell of a game tonight. I'm trying to get one of those notifications out of the way. Thank you. But yeah, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. It was a fun night to watch us play basketball, especially. I'm not gonna go there yet. Not gonna go there yet. I think you guys know. But anyway, let's get into these numbers, man. Let's get into the numbers. So RJ Barrett tonight, miles more efficient than he was last night. He was over 52% tonight. He played 38 minutes, basically 10 for 19 from the field, 3 for 7 from three, a lot better than last night's 1 for 7. 7 for 8 from free throw, a lot better than last night's 11 for 17 from the free throw line. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 30 points. He was only a +1. But we're not going to beat him up over that one number out of all of the stats that we just named. So, and by the way, shout out to the chat. I am going to get to you guys in a second. Just want to get some of this stuff out of the way so that we're not here for too long and I forget a player here or there. So RJ Barrett, back-to-back 30-point games. Convincing fashion. He clearly was in charge of this team tonight, and I love watching it. I don't know how else we can put this. RJ Barrett needs to be in control going forward. And I'm not just saying for the rest of the season. I think he should be the main piece that they build around. Not saying that he should be the best player on the team. If push comes to shove, I think he has a way to go before he's the best player on a good team status, but he's getting really close very fast. 30 points again. I think he has the most points, 30-point games for anyone under the age of 21, well, 21 and under, in the league right now. So shout outs to him. The offense just looks so good when he's running it. Sometimes he makes his selfish plays, but literally every star has a selfish play. It just happens. There's no way that you're going to get a player who's the best player, the best scorer, the go-to guy, and he's not going to take a bunch of shots that you don't like. I don't know anyone who was extremely happy with all the shots that Tracy McGrady, Kobe, Vince Carter, Paul Pierce, like all of those guys, Allen Iverson. I don't know anyone who's happy with every single shot that they took. So I think this is just part of his development. He has to get better at picking and choosing. But tonight he was pretty good. He was pretty good, man. 50% from the field, 42%, basically 43% from deep tonight, 87.5% from the free throw line. And that's what you want to see from the guy who will be, your main piece going forward. Obi Toppin, hell of a game tonight. 40 minutes. I mean, if there was a game where Thibodeau said, all right, guys, all right, fans, shut the hell up here. This is what you get. He probably threw him out there and was like, I'm going to play him 40 minutes, and I guarantee you'll see why I don't play him 40 minutes every night. And then Obi goes out there and he he has the highest plus minus, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. 6 assists. A lot of those passes were just the right place to make. 2 for 4 from 3. Like, we're talking about Obi Toppin here. 8 for 11, 8 of 11 from the field. What more could you ask for? The only gripe I have for Obi, still same as last night. You got to get to the line. But I'm not. He played a great game. We won. I'm not going to beat him up for that. I just want to see in his development, Obi getting to the line a little bit more. because when you do that when you play that kind of basketball, it flows so much better getting to the line. But tonight, the assists tonight were just ridiculous. How many assists? I think they had 30 assists tonight. 30 assists for this team. And they just looked like a team that liked playing with each other tonight. Pause. Um, Jericho Sims, 10 points. They were finding him, and he was getting a bunch of two-handed dunks in there tonight. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Just being where he should be. Jericho in 25 minutes is giving you a lot of the things you wanted to see from him early this season, and he's doing that. He's showing improvement. Burks, you know, what can you really say about Burks? He's in there, he's doing his thing. He's probably our most consistent player in certain fashions, but it's just where he is. He gets a lot of shade from a lot of us, including me sometimes. But he is what he is, man. He's a veteran. He's going to get you, um, he's going to get you some timely buckets. He's going to keep you in the game sometimes. Sometimes he's going to frustrate the hell out of you. Um, but he shouldn't be your starting point guard. So that's what kind of happens when you have that issue. But you know, he was pretty good tonight. He had 21 points last night, 17 tonight, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He's just stuffed the stat sheet, and that's what you kind of want from Burks if he's going to be out there. Evan Fournier, 12 points, 7 assists, 4 for 10 for three. Shout out to him for having I think he has the record now for the most threes in a season. Um, a Knicks record for the most threes in the season. And I mean, he was only 4 for 14 from the field. You don't want to see that, but he beat out John Starks for having the most threes in the season. And for most of the season, we've been trashing the hell out of Evan. Even tonight, there were some things that were frustrating. You see the 4 for 14. There were some things that were frustrating, but he's doing what he's supposed to do. We needed someone last year who was going to make shots, and he's a shot maker. He just has to take a lot to make them. So I would like for that kind of guy to come off our bench, but I don't mind him being here. 12 points, 7 assists. Like, come on. I've been one to call him out for being sometimes selfish and taking ridiculous shots. But sometimes he's doing what he needs to do. So just bring him off our bench one day. Quickly tonight had 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 10 points. And he's getting better at just being an NBA guard. Whether he's a point guard, 2 guard, it's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm just proud to see what he's been doing. As of recent, he was only 4 for 9, but 2 for 6 from three. He didn't really get to the line like that, but he's out there making the right plays. Clearly, he has 7 assists to show for it. But there's just a lot of things that Quickly does that he hasn't been doing earlier in the season. But right now he's starting to figure it out, and I'm kind of happy. Let's see. Let's get to the chat. Let's see what they're talking about in the chat tonight. Oh boy. What's going on? Izzy, my boy. Peace, bro. Peace, man. How you doing? Oh my God. Yeah. Wrong one. There you go. What's good, cuz? How you doing, bro? How's everything, cuzzo? I think I was supposed to call you back yesterday and I didn't. That's on me. But things happen. I'll be busy. And I ain't shit. Sometimes it happens. Izzy with a nice I didn't really want to go there. I went this how long we been live? 10 minutes, and I didn't mention. Did I mention Julius? I haven't mentioned Julius in 10 minutes. What do you say? Team looks good without Randall. It's been 2 games, but yes. Just they look like a more they look like they're having fun, and uh my thing about Julius this year hasn't been how good he's been or the numbers that he's put up. And that's kind of what I was trying to say on Twitter yesterday to a few people who were like, yeah, if RJ had a 30-point game with those, I mean, if Julius had a 30-point game with those numbers, last night's game, of course, you guys would have had his head and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you're the best player on your team. You're going to get the most trash talked about you when you don't play perfect. I don't know anyone who's going to score 30 points on 15 shots. It doesn't happen all the time. But it's the attitude, it's the mood, it's the aggression towards the fans, or the discretion towards the fans, the aggression towards the refs. Shout out to Knicks fans Wild, and they posted a something on their Instagram earlier of just showing different clips of Julius just being emotional. One of those clips where he didn't even get a chance to be emotional, like they literally just ran out the tunnel, but literally every other Knick had their hand up and high five the fan, and Julius just ran past everyone and just kept his head up. Now, some people do have a thing with germs. Maybe he has a thing with germs. Maybe. So I don't want to harp on that, but it just doesn't look good. But they look good without playing, with Julius. It feels like they had 30 assists tonight. Like, come on. How often does that happen? But yeah, man. We got Dante in here. What's going on, family? I've missed your hate, bro. I've missed the trolling. I've missed it. How you been, Cuzzo? It's the Cuzzo. It's the three-headed trios, myself, Tune, and Dante here. But yeah, man, we here. The Knicks ain't shit. Listen, we know this. We call it out when we see it, but you know how it is. Joe, my man. I wish I could have brought you on today. See if you were busy, but I thought about it way too late. But yeah, man. A lot of stuff. Is that a positive comment from the hell's going on here? Thanks. I don't know if that's shade. But I appreciate it. Good win tonight versus a good team. LaMelo is LaMelo. It's just I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is. He's got a fever. Something happened. We gotta check. Tim, we gotta check on Dante after this to make sure he's okay, because he definitely just gave us a positive comment. And this is a New York team. But anyway, I don't want to piss him off. But yeah, tonight was good to watch. There was a lot of plays where they lost. I mean, there was a lot of times where they lost the lead and they pushed it right back up, and it kept happening. I don't know what it was. It just seemed as though tonight that nothing distracted them from doing so. I'm not going to say what didn't distract them or who, but it's not the point. I'm talking about who's here. I'm not going to talk about someone who didn't even get a chance to defend himself and he didn't really play today or defend anyone else, which has been a problem for most of our season. But yes, it just looks a lot better when these guys come out and play tonight. Let's get some of these highlights up here and see how they look tonight. Jericho Sims, look at it, RJ just lighting it up. A lot of people are not happy with the kind of shots that RJ takes, which I understand, completely understandable. I'm not gonna be mad at you for feeling that way. But these are, like I said earlier, these are the development kind of things. Look at, oh my gosh. Obi was on one tonight. He was on one tonight. He was out there to prove that he belonged. I know last game he mentioned not having the chemistry with the starting unit, and that's kind of what stalled him a little bit, and it looked like he was making an active effort tonight to figure out that chemistry, and it looks like he might. I'm gonna be honest. If oh man, Jericho Sims and Obi Toppin in the game, just two high flyers. You don't really get that. Look at that. You don't get it a lot. Julius isn't a high flyer. So but he brings you so many other things that it's okay that he's not a high flyer, but it's good to see every now and then. But he like going back to Obi, it seems as though the team is going to give him the opportunity to be out there. Are they going to shut down Julius for the rest of the season? I mean, how many games is there is left? As Taj knocks down, I think he had 2 threes tonight. I think this is the other one. Yeah, that's the other one there. What was I even saying? Oh, Obi. It seems, are they going to shut down Julius? Maybe. I think they should at this point. We're what, 5.5 games out of the 10th seed. So I mean, the Hawks, the Hornets have to completely collapse in order for us to slide into the 10th seed and make the play in. I think the writing's on the wall. I think it would be wise for them to just let Julius rest for the rest of the season. And focus on the summer. I think they have some moves that they need to make. And they're going to explore some trading options for the contract of Julius Randle. Which, this guy RJ doesn't really get calls the way he should either. But I don't, and like I also said yesterday on Twitter, I don't want to make it a Julius versus RJ thing. They don't have anything against each other. Or so I don't want to say that because I've heard that. I've heard things. That's all I'm gonna say. I've heard things. But I don't think they hate each other. But I also don't want the fan base to pin them against each other. This fan base loves RJ because of his attitude. Yeah, his numbers and his efficiency isn't always great. He's 21. I don't know any 21-year-old who's highly efficient, especially in his first few months, maybe 2 months of being the guy on the team. This is the first time he's actually played without Julius, and he is the guy that they're going to go through. And it's really, I mean, if you really want to be honest, it's only a 2-game sample. He's gonna get better and better and better. I think a lot of the times when Julius does play, RJ takes a lot of shots he shouldn't take because he feels like he should have been looked at. Sometimes RJ is the kind of guy who wants to touch the ball. He doesn't want to score every single play, but he wants to touch the ball. Which he's earned the right to touch the ball. He doesn't always look to score. He doesn't make selfish plays. But I think a lot of times RJ is caught in, hey, I haven't gotten the ball in a few plays, so I'm gonna go for mine. And I think in these kind of situations like tonight, RJ is pressured to spread the ball around because teams are going to focus on him. So he has to spread the ball. There's not a Julius out there. There's not a better player out there to take the attention off of him, which he noticed last night. And last night he was actually shut down in the second half. Let's be real. And he still ended up with 30 points. So, I want to see, I think he had 15 points at the half tonight, ended with 30. I want to see I want to see RJ to, continue to progress and just be the guy. Maybe it's not always going to be this. It is not always going to look this good. These guys aren't always going to make a lot of shots. These guys aren't going to always have 30 assist games. But I think playing with unselfish guys like RJ and Quickly and Obi, the guys that like to play together, throwing a veteran or two there, and these guys will be fine. I don't mind Taj being here long term if he's going to be the vet off the bench. I'm not sure if Nerlens is going to be here next year. I'm not sure if Mitch is going to be here next year. So I would like that veteran presence off the bench. He doesn't have to be the first big off the bench, but he could be the second big off the bench, which is what primarily he's really third this year. But actually, he's the second big off the bench after Jericho Sims. at this point of the season. So, I think he brings a lot of those intangibles to his team. He teaches these guys how to play well. Um, let's see how he played tonight. Let's get let me see. How did he play tonight? Taj Gibson. 12 points on 4 shots. He made 3 of them. You can't beat that. He's gonna set the right screens, 5 rebounds. This is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to come out here and just be a vet. But anyway, back to the chat. Let's see what we got. And why are you even on here still? Flat rate flip. I don't even know that. Oh, I see. I see what happened there. My boy Alex said, "My N-word." I don't know what that N-word is. You gotta remind me. Why are you even still on here? I guess why am I still talking about the Knicks? It's what I like to do, man. It's what I like to do. But appreciate you coming out, dropping me a like. My guy. Izzy Sims got to learn the balance between over aggressive and tight defense. He will learn. He's literally in his November, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 5-6 months into his season, into his career. Actually, and hopefully it's a somewhere 8 to 10 year career. That would be nice to see for Jericho Sims, especially as a backup big or whatever he turns into. But for 5 to 6 months in, I think he'll learn it. If Mitch can learn, and Mitch didn't have an ounce of college basketball experience, if Mitch could learn that within a year, I have no doubt that Jericho Sims will learn that. Does he need to go to a therapist? There's something needs to happen. Something definitely needs to happen. He needs to talk to somebody because this shit isn't going to fly anywhere in the league. I don't think anyone is going to allow Julius Randle to just come in to wherever they are and just have an attitude. He looks like the kind of guy, if the wrong person says something to him, one night he can be great, the next night he can have an attitude. And that's not necessarily what you want, but oh well. Taz touched the floor, right? I don't know if he touched the floor or if he just laid down during the play. One of the two. He definitely went crazy on that little spin move on the floor. He did look like a break dancer. But that's Trae Young. A couple plays before, Trae Young had Taj Gibson on the island. And Emmanuel Quickley, and I yelled at Quickley for this. Emmanuel Quickley left his man to go help Taj and double on Trae. Someone stepped on Quickley's man and left their man open, who was DeAndre Hunter. He was wide open in the corner and he knocked it down. I was upset more because of the timing. Like that play, letting someone take that kind of shot. I don't mind it if it's not like game defining moments, like in the last few minutes of the game where they gotta play solid defense. That is a momentum shifter. You don't, especially when you were up. You don't let them shift the momentum like that by just leaving a guy wide open. Listen, Taj is a vet. He's been here. If he's got to get shook, he's gonna get shook. There's nothing you can do. But I would rather Taj play the defense he can play, push him towards the inside of the arc, which he did. But like I said, DeAndre Hunter ended up with the 3. I was mad at Quickley. So the next time Taj gets on the island again with Trae, Quickley says, "Well, I know what happened last time. I'm going to just stay on my man." And it turned into a dance session for Taj. But, I'll take the 2 over the 3 because the dance session pushed Trae into the 3-point line and he knocked it down. But he said Trae owns the Garden. Trae has been beating the Garden First of all, last year they beat us in the playoffs, and that was the only real time that they beat us all year. But it's when it counted. Trae Young is also the kind of guy that he's the best player on that team, and we lost to a team with their best player, and I wouldn't say Julius is still our best player, but technically he's still our best player. But they beat us last night. We had a lead damn near the entire game. We kept coming back, and it wasn't even Trae that killed us. Trae did what he does. If it wasn't for Bogdanovich, Trae wouldn't have won last night. And he focuses too much on the fans. It reminds me a lot of Reggie Miller, and those guys usually don't win much in the league in terms of like championships. I don't know, just remind me how many championships Reggie Miller has won, but he talked trash to Spike Lee, and got that badge. There was even a play last night where a fan was heckling Trae, and Trae in the middle of a play, he's like, "Hold that L," and then like, "Oh shit!" Quickly just sprint past them, and he had to like get himself back into the play because he just wasn't paying attention. He's focused on the wrong things. Great basketball player, but I think it's he can't guard anyone. So if he's not hot, what is he really bringing you? And it's we've seen this Trae Young before, where he's hunted on defense, and if he's not hot, he's just jacking up shots and he's not making them. What is that team? And if you ask any Atlanta Hawk fan, they will go off about the things that Trae Young does that pisses them off. It looks nice that he can come into the Garden and beat a bad team. Cool. But I don't remind me where they are in the standings. I believe they're, what are they? Let's double check where they are in the standings. Let me see. Standings by conference. They are 10th. We're 11th and they're 10th. They're literally one spot ahead of us. And they've only won 5 more games than us this year, and we've played terrible. And they have a bona fide all-star in their team. So I think they're in a worse position than we are in a way. Because when you have a player like Trae Young, teams tend to want to win with them as fast as they could. They have 4 years to do so initially once you draft a guy, and then you got to hope that he resigns. And then once he resigns, you got to also resign him for a contract that allows you flexibility to bring someone else around him that can bolster your team and make them better. I would rather be in our situation knowing that the best player we have, we're not really going to keep, but we do have a lot of pieces we can add around our next best player, who's a lot younger. Would I rather have RJ Barrett over Trae Young? That's not what I'm saying, so be easy. But I am saying that when you have a star and you aren't winning season after season, this is now, I don't know, it's Trae Young's 4th year, I believe. 3rd or 4th year. It has to be at least his 4th year because he's been there longer than RJ. RJ's his 3rd year. Maybe it's his 4th or 5th season. At some point, he's going to start asking himself, what am I doing here? What's going on here? And that happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. It's going to happen with RJ at some point. But RJ's younger, and you have the time to re-sign him to a deal where it's not as expensive, and you can build your team around him a lot easier than you can a guy like Trae, who's shown this early who he is. But now that he's shown who he is, you got to give him a certain amount of money, which takes away from the amount of money you can give to the guys around him, which is what we're seeing with Atlanta. They're having a problem with contracts and team morale and stuff like that. You got, I mean, when you talk about the young core of RJ, Quickly, Obi, and even Cam Reddish next year when he comes back, it seems like a lot of young guys that like to play ball together, and they have the same energy and chemistry, and there's no ulterior motives. And I think Kemba Walker said something like that earlier in the season, where guys don't have their own motives, and I swear he was talking about Julius Randle. Like, who else could he have been talking about? You know what I mean? Um, I think it was just clear that those two guys just did not get along. There was, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into that too much because I don't want to turn this into a shit on Julius session. I don't mind shitting on Julius when he earns it, but he didn't play tonight, so I'm not going to keep doing it. But it is what it is. These guys have to consider what they have, and I would rather be in the position of having your next best player and knowing that you're going to move forward with that player, and you have a bunch of tradable contracts. After the season, Fournier's a tradable contract. Burks definitely a tradable contract. It's hard to trade Julius. I think he's getting 117 million after this year, but I don't even think that kicks in until after the season. 117 million for the next 3 to 4 years, I believe, a 4-year deal extension it was last year. But I don't know how easy it will be to trade Julius, which is why I can't say Julius won't be here next year. You just can't say that. I'm sure that they will explore some trade options, but I'm even one to believe that they'll get desperate at some point and say, listen, let's just get what we can. I love RJ's attitude. I might not like his game every single night, but at least I know he's going to give us his best. He's going to try to rally his troops. He's not going to get into the refs' ears negatively. If anything, it looks like the refs love RJ in talking to him. I think it was mic'd up yesterday, and you could just see the energy that he exerts. But anyway, there's not much else you can really say about tonight's game. They won. It was a pretty good game. I would like for them to continue in these games. The next game that they have is Friday against the Heat, and I don't really know how they're going to play against them, but it is what it is. I'm not really too upset about what will happen there. The Heat lost tonight versus the Golden State Warriors, so they're going to probably come in and beat our ass on Friday. So be it. But at the end of the day, if we're not going to be making the play-in and the playoffs, I'm perfectly fine with us, taking a few losses here or there, but still not purposeful losses. I'm not mad if we lose, if we're moving in the right direction, in terms of giving the young guys the minutes they deserve to be better. How many minutes let's double check. Where were we? Let's see. How many minutes did Deuce get tonight? Deuce got 10 minutes. Quentin got 14. Quentin didn't really shoot well. He was 1 for 6. He ended up with 3 points. Miles McBride had 9 points in 10 minutes. You can't really beat that. And these guys they're learning how to get that chemistry, especially the guys that are looking like they're going to be here long term together. But RJ's been on the tear. I think he needs to score 20 or 20, 21, 22 points per game for the rest of the season in order for him to finish the season above 20 points per game, which is the jump you want him to make once a guy can drop. And he's only been making this improvement since January 1st. I think there was an article Fred Katz put out in The Athletic about on New Year's Eve, him texting his trainer, Drew Hanlon, and telling him that it's time for me to take over. And I'm not sure if he meant this team or just take over and take control of what's been going on. I think he has earned the right to have that opportunity at this point. And sorry. I just think that, what was I talking about, RJ? I believe so. Got thrown off by that one. Yeah, man. I just think that RJ has a lot of room to grow. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to sit here for too much longer. We talked about the game. Hopefully these guys can get lucky this year by not trying to lose and find themselves in a good spot in the lottery. I'd love to see that. That would be beautiful. But we don't always get what we want. So, we'll see what happens, especially in the lottery. And maybe we'll get some luck. Maybe we land in a spot that we probably didn't expect because we did it the right way. We lost, but we were trying to win, and we were trying to develop guys. And it is what it is. I'm not mad at these late game wins because it gives you guys the confidence that they need, especially the guys without. You need to win as many games as you can when Julius doesn't play, so that these guys feel like they don't need Julius to win. And not that it's about a Julius thing, but whoever their best player would be, you as a team want to know that if your best player wasn't there, that you are still good enough to win. And I think that's what they've been trying to get themselves to. So, you know, hats out. Let's tip our hats to them. Hopefully, they keep doing well. You got a tough game against the Heat. I think we're playing them there. In Miami. And it is what it is, man. But that's really all I got. Shout out to the chat if you're here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Please do me a favor and spread the love, man. Hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a lot more shows by myself. A lot of times I don't go live at all because I'm by myself, and I never really like that. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just can't hold this stuff in. I gotta talk about it because Lord knows by the next show I'll forget about everything I want to say. But yeah, man. Great win tonight versus a team that is better than us. And their best player was there. So I don't want to sit here and say, well, we won and make any kind of caveats, but we beat a team who had their best player who was ahead of us, and pretty convincingly too. Not for nothing, the last time we played Charlotte, they put a hurting on us, and it really, really bothered me because it was a game where I think there was the career high for Bridges. Is it Miles Bridges? Yes, Miles Bridges. I think it was a career high for him, and he was just making everything. Scary Terry came in, the best bad shot maker in the game, and he did his thing. But I just didn't feel like that was a game we mentally were even in. But I do feel like they didn't deserve to beat us that game. I didn't think they worked that hard. I think a lot of times a lot of the stuff they beat us off of just a lot of bad shots that they made. And tonight you saw that they're a team that if they're not hot, they don't really play well. So we'll see how that pans out. But that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning into the Garden Mix podcast. I'm your host, Apollo Reed, and I will see you next time, man. Peace.